Ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea Manning is in the building. Hold on.
Yep. This time I made it over the moat without any issues.
Good.
Yeah.
First time's the hardest.
Yeah. It's the Gators.
Yeah. Really get you. All right. Last time you were here, we're talking about Ukraine right now. I do want to, talk about updates on what's going on in Ukraine as well.
I'm a little out of the last 8 hours. I've been a little busy, so I don't know what's going on in the world.
No. Nothing new or relevant or recent has happened. I just want to talk about, in general.
No more mass shootings or terrorist attacks or.
I think there was another mass shooting that probably happened. I mean, statistically speaking, that's like a normal thing to assume, even if we don't know. You were on the H3H3 podcast earlier as well. So we can talk about that as well. But right now, before we get into any of that, I'm currently watching Bhaskar Sankara go up against what is this, Nick Gillespie or whatever.
That guy.
The Reason Magazine libertarian.
Yeah.
And of course, the panel is hosted by another Reason Magazine libertarian, Michael Moynihan. So really cool stuff is happening here. Big brain ideas. So we're just listening to
so many ideas.
He just
Lots
said,
of learning.
He just said, I fear about what the pandemic would look like if Jeffrey Bezos had not invented Amazon. As in, he thinks that delivery is a Jeffrey Bezos invention.
What?
Yeah.
Was the post office not invented?
First of all, you're owned. Okay, he just owned it. He just owned you and me and everyone else because he's right and we're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone said a shooting just happened in a mall in Gastonia. Not surprising.
I don't know, a ketamine infusion, and they'll be like, "We're going to get it there. It's same day delivery."
I think there's an old school kind of socialist talking point, which is that all capitalists are parasites, which is a very hard position. I think doesn't really make that much sense. The question is, can we do better? Can we create a better system? It's not in absolute terms whether it's better to have the status quo of an economy dominated by a handful of powerful people versus an economy where nothing is produced and we're just starving and poor forever. When it comes to the realm of politics and also when it comes to the firms in which wealth is constructed, ordinary workers are still relatively replaceable. Now, Nick, with you at Reason, I'm sure you're not
I get told my annual review, it's like, you are eminently replaceable.
If you had, let's say, upper management or something like that, maybe not you, but someone else like you at Reason, can actually go to a meeting with your boss and say, I deserve 10% more, I have some sort of leverage, I have this skill, I have this whatever. They can negotiate as individuals, yes, or that photo. If you're at a worker at CVS and you go and say, hey, I'm earning $12.50 an hour, I want to earn $15, $16 an hour, as an individual worker, your boss will probably tell you to F off, right? But if you go with the rest of your workforce and you make that demand, then collectively you might be able to make that happen because you have a threat of slowing down or stopping production. But that's the collective logic that works at a firm, and that's the reason why we need unions at firms. But that's also the collective logic of why broadly working class people need political parties and need institutions to actually say, yes, we as a collective have a common interest, and these are—
I loved it, only in America do you have to sit there with two adult humans
and explain what a union is
and explain the benefits of unionization to a crowd of onlookers who also cannot comprehend this fundamental concept that other countries take for fucking granted. You know what I mean? And it also stems from some of the most basic ideas, together you are stronger.
Everyone knows what a strike is.
Yeah, apes together strong. Ape singled out, not strong. It's that simple. Apes together strong. They say it all the time at fucking Wall Street bets when it comes to collective action for pumping a fucking
we can do this together as a collective.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
popular.
So dumb.
Other people have a different interest. Let's say you, as an owner of private property, Nick, decide to build a factory and you make this investment and whatever else, and you convince 100 other people to work at your factory, your restaurant, or whatever else on terms of $14 an hour wage and 10-hour shifts, but everyone's really happy there and they like it. Then the government comes about where a political party pushes the message of, we're going to demand that everybody gets paid $15 an hour, but 8-hour day maximums or whatever
serious
else.
Debate
So for the ordinary workers at that firm, they're now getting more freedom. They're getting 2 hours extra a day. They could do whatever they want. They could speculate in cryptocurrency. They could bet on the Knicks. They could, I don't know, like what normal people do, like watch TV, read I don't know what normal people do,
They read poetry, yes.
Read poetry, right.
Yeah.
And they
as a representative of the worker, you shouldn't say, I don't know what ordinary people do.
Well, I would say, I don't know what ordinary people do because there is no real people are incredibly weird and eclectic or whatever, which is why the state should stay out of civil society.
It's gonna win people over.
The percentage of unionized American wage salary workers has declined about 10%. Close to half of the non-union
years.
Yeah.
Air traffic controllers.
48% or close to half of the non-union workforce would join a union. 65% of all Americans approve of labor unions, including 83% of Democrats, 64% of independents, and 45% of Republicans.
Damn, that's a lot.
The funniest part about it is like Republicans are so fucking brain dead. They're like, yeah, I hate unions. It's like, dude, what are you saying right now? Like,
say that in Michigan though.
Yeah, but like, dog, you literally you live in a fucking trailer. What are you talking about? Like, the whole reason why you had a fucking job, like a stable job. I mean, I guess like people in West Virginia probably don't fit. People in West Virginia are probably the 45% of Republicans that want unions again. So. You know what I mean?
Great Lakes region, Appalachia.
It's just so wild, like that it's this number. Republicans really do fancy themselves as like temporarily embarrassed millionaires. I swear. So dumb.
But it's like in cities where it's like in cities and factories where it's like 90% like white workers though.
Yeah, but it's cops. Honestly, this probably is like
that's why they're the fraternal order of police instead of a union though.
There's nothing in libertarian philosophy or ideology that precludes collective bargaining or forming unions. If the government comes in and just arbitrarily sets the wage rate at $20 an hour, and the company is barely getting by, you're not going to keep the same number of workers. It's not a costless intervention, and it's not just like, oh, we can pull all of this money out of the profits that the swells.
So it is true that for our version in our country, a higher minimum wage would encourage firm failure of certain less efficient producers. But if less efficient producers collapse and more efficient producers expand, that's good for productivity, that's good for the economy. And if you're the right set of active labor market policies, then it's a net benefit. I mean, firm failure is not a bad thing. If you can't afford to pay your workers a living wage, it might be better.
The market kind of is the thing that sorts that out. God. Good firms versus bad.
There is no
invisible hand,
dude. It's just like, again, libertarianism is like such a fucking.
It's just completely abstract.
It's just such a fucking like insane way to approach. It's like a child's way of seeing the world. You know what I mean? You're like a child. You're like, oh, the free market. Yeah, unicorns, dude. Like there is no fucking free market. The market has never been free.
Yeah.
There is no like supply demand curve that actually works in the adequate ways that you learn in neoclassical economics theory. Like that's not a thing. If that was a thing, there would be no marketing, okay? It would be illegal to do marketing. A multi-billion-dollar industry that unironically has the express purpose of like changing the demand curve, like directly changing the way that you see certain products and consume it.
Yeah, it's all just P's and Q's to some of these people.
Yeah.
Bad firms or efficient firms versus inefficient.
Libertarianism is astrology for pedophiles? Yes, exactly.
Firms. And I will point out the companies that push for minimum wage now, it's places like Walmart, it's places like Amazon, because they are using the power.
This is my favorite. This is my favorite argument. Libertarians have been using this now, like where they say, oh, well, actually, like, a higher minimum wage benefits large mega corporations. So all you're doing is like eliminating fucking smaller companies, small businesses they can't operate because they don't have like the same profit margins, and in favor of like further monopolizing industries. It's like, dude, we live in America. What industry isn't monopolized at this point?
Yeah.
And no, Walmart is not pushing for higher minimum wage. Amazon is. Walmart doesn't have.
Yeah, everybody's just a contractor or a subcontractor, or has like a relation or has an extensive business relationship with an existing incumbent super mega corporation. Like practically nobody operates without having to have some kind of relationship as a contractor.
Yeah. That's how it is.
Like a Lyft driver is
everything's a gig economy. Everything's a gig economy. I mean, technically, I'm a fucking gig worker.
You're a glorified gig economy worker.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the top of the food chain, certainly, but like that's how it is. It's literally how it is for everyone.
Yeah. Power of the government to kind of price out their competition. Firms, businesses, one of the first things they do after they get big and successful is they buy government regulation that helps them maintain their market position and screw over competitors. And that's happening now in big tech.
Yeah, that's why famously Walmart is advocating for a $15 minimum wage. Like, shut the fuck up. Do you hear yourself, dude? You just like made.
Well, now $15 isn't a living wage in most
Yeah, but also like he just made that up. Like Amazon nor Walmart is advocating for a $15 minimum wage. Like, it's so stupid for him to say that.
Facebook is running ads saying we want to be regulated. We need to be regulated. It's time to be regulated because they know they're going to write the regulations in a way that there will not be any more competitors to Facebook.
If you had the
famously, the tech companies love regulation. They're such big fans of being regulated. Where is this guy getting his fucking news from? Like, what the fuck's he talking about?
Dictatorial power. Actually, I don't want to say that. The socialists, the dictatorial power sometimes ends poorly. But if you had dictatorial power, right, and you say, I need to correct where this economy is going, where this culture is going, and you have this sort of lay of the land, I can say, I'm going to...
First of all, there is already dictatorial power in this country. It's just a dictatorship of the bourgeoisie. So I don't know what he's trying to say. Is he trying to say, like, if you were God King, what would you do to fix the world? Like the classic, the classic fucking stupid take. Is that what it is? Wait, what the fuck is this? The evolution of Hasan the Hun over the years, the king of politics on Twitch. What the fuck? Why is Dixerto doing shit like this?
Who's that?
Oh God, I don't know. Dixerto just like cut a fucking video saying the evolution of politics on. See, it's gonna bum me out most likely.
Let's go.
ADHD moment. This is what Dixerto said. They said the evolution of politics.
Wait, you have a beard that long?
Yeah.
Damn. Didn't see that.
This is so sad, bro. You can see my forehead decline in real time.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna say anything.
It's just so sad. God, I was so hot. What the fuck happened?
What the fuck happened? I mean, COVID happened. Wrecked everybody's bodies.
But this is...
That was like, you were like a 15K Andy, or like a 1,500 Andy back then. 2021. I don't understand the video.
I don't know. I thought there was going to be more. Yeah, chat happened. If you cut your hair, you'd look the same probably, but I don't want to. 2018 was your peak. This was my peak. It's just I had a fatter beard.
Yeah.
It's a glow up, I guess. Not sure where the glow is, though. See, this is what happens. Like, even when my fucking moderators are saying shit like this, of course I'm going to lose my mind.
God, that logo, though, doesn't look... It looks sus.
The Dexerto logo?
Yeah.
This is weird.
It's giving me flashbacks of, like, neo-Nazis. As I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Like runes.
Anyway. They did this earlier. Yeah, I don't know why Dixerto's been like simping for me today. It's weird. Giving him nail polish remover and any set of clothes not from a thrift store. At least he's right. I do wear clothes from the thrift store. Okay, let's continue with this fucking socialism, capitalism shit.
Implement X, policies, whatever it be. What is the main concern for you, and how does one fix it, sort of wave of the wand.
When it comes to my wider dreams of being a socialist, I believe that ordinary people are capable of running their own workforces, electing their own management. I think we'll always need divisions of labor. We'll always need firm failures. I believe that the market is necessary for both price calculations and also incentives. But I believe there's certain spheres of life, like, for instance, healthcare, in which we don't want to leave it to the market. And we see effective models. You could say that, hey, I prefer the American system to the British system. But the British system works in its own way. And I think the flaws in the British system could be corrected by policies. The American system, to me, seems like the worst of both worlds, where you're subsidizing a failing system that has this mix of public and private in a very incoherent way. I think there's a real solution that can be found in a more social democratic direction in America. If capitalists control the flow of investment, at some point capitalists can just say, no, the gig is up. We're going to stop investing because the system doesn't make sense, and we'd prefer to be in a situation similar to our peers in Britain and the United States. So I think fundamentally we have to grapple with the need to collectivize that sources of investment, precisely because capitalists are not parasites. So we need to take control of the things capitalists do productively in some way. That's why I think we need to go beyond social democracy. But the quest for my lifetime in the United States, I think, is getting people access to free and affordable healthcare.
Dangus, he's a base dangus.
Nick?
What I would argue is we're moving in many ways to a better society where when you look at broad social movements, and this is things like equality of all individuals, on racial terms, on ethnic terms, on gender, sexual orientation, we're moving.
Dude, my favorite thing is like the moment that you actually start talking about like what is to be done, right? About improving the material conditions of the working class. Libertarians and conservatives alike immediately hit the fucking gender note or like social issues. Like it's like, oh shit, fuck. He's saying stuff. He's saying stuff that like people will agree with. Immediately, I gotta be like, what's an issue I can just immediately bring up that like people I will win them over again. What about gender? Well, I mean, he's a libertarian, so I don't know if he's gonna like actually. Isn't he like an OG libertarian? I'm gonna be very surprised if he's like also fucking reactionary on the gender front, because like. These guys, at least back in the day, if they worked the fucking reason, like they were like, I don't give a shit about trans people, like they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Most of them transitioned.
Yeah, most of them. Yeah, they did. They transed into fucking being fascists. That's what they did. They did their ideological.
No, I mean, like literally, they started like.
Transitioned
into being, they started like transitioning and started taking hormones.
I thought I was just talking about, they transitioned into being fucking fascists from, because they.
No, that was the other one. It was the other path. It was sort of this brand.
That's the pipeline. That's the two different directions you can head to.
Western man.
Yeah, exactly. It's the only two directions. AFAB, assigned fascist at birth. Oh, Jesus. But so basically that's what happened. Yeah, they either like really got into trains and fucking grand strategy games, or they were like, I actually do like trains, but in the Nazi way. Actual meme about 4chan. I mean, literally.
Moving in the right direction. That's good. I think we're becoming more adult about things like drug legalization and letting people choose their intoxicants. I think the key things that we need to do with the federal government is reduce its size, scope, and spending, which has blown up enormously over the past 20 years in particular. And we need to, the government, we can't pay for this.
This is my favorite
government spending.
No, dude, I want...
Rich people love government spending, though.
I love conservatives when they talk about government spending, because it's my favorite, because no one gives a shit. Like... This is the tax credits argument for like liberals. You know what I mean? Like liberals love talking about means testing programs, and no one likes it when they talk about means testing programs except other fucking annoying liberals. So this is my favorite thing. Conservatives should always talk about the national debt and like tort reform or whatever the fuck, like they used to in the 90s, instead of like the very successful culture war psychopathy that they engage in.
What I find funny is that as soon as the government stops spending and then they're like quantitative tightening and like, we're going to take dollars out of the market and we're actually going to address inflation, they start like rich people just start freaking out.
Oh yeah, that's
they're
the
like,
other part.
Oh my God, like this is going to ruin everything. The stock market's going to fall apart. Like we're not going to be able to like do anything. Like all investment's going to stop. We're going to stop doing business.
No, they want money to be printed in their direction. That's it. They just never want. It's only. I mean, it's the famous fucking moral hazard argument, which is like it's only a moral hazard if poor people are getting money. It's never seen as a moral hazard if like banks routinely and other mega corporations routinely rely on government bailouts, knowing full well that the government will have their back if they fucking fail. And can easily eliminate redundancies and engage in stock buybacks instead of fucking creating like a surplus of safety for themselves that might come in handy in a time of need, because no company fails anymore. No big company ever fails because the government is never going to let that happen.
Yeah, a la 2008.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just it's a moral hazard only for the poor, the working poor, to get money. 2008 is a great example of this. Yes, giving money, bailing out banks rather than the individuals who fucking were victims of predatory lending was a decision made to solidify that point, to really hammer that in. You could have given that money to the fucking homeowners so they could have maintained that property and actually quite literally fucking paid off their insane predatory loans, but they didn't. They didn't do that. They gave it to the fucking banks. And then people just no longer had housing. So that was cool, and killed themselves. That was dope.
Well, BlackRock
the debt that we
a lot
accrue for that
Want to buy a house?
is slowing down economic growth. It comes with a lot of regulations that clog up the ability of creative destruction of an innovative economy to change, so it's supplying the demands of people that change over time and things like that. We've been living in what I call the long 20th century, which starts with like Bismarck's Germany, and it's the social...
He's saying this is the guy from 90 Day Fiancé, same guy. This guy went to Ukraine, I think, right? This was in Ukraine. He got debated by a Ukrainian woman in 90 Day Fiancé.
Welfare state. It is no longer viable in a world where population growth is shrinking, where the fertility rates are down.
Oh my God.
All of these systems that are bankrupting America, and they're bankrupting countries all over the world, are based on the idea you'll have 10 or 20 people contributing to a system, per beneficiary. That's no longer the case. We need to radically change that and say we want a government that keeps peace, does a couple of things, for the common good, and then it helps people who need help. And other than that, kind of get out of the way, and let's see what we develop.
Get out of the way.
Well, thank you, guys.
Everything he described in this point, like you can directly pinpoint to like the declining birth rate as a consequence of the government actually not fucking regulating the marketplace, so it's like easily sustainable to have a fucking child. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's also the other side of it where like developing nations with no influx of immigration, unironically, do have declining birth rates, like Japan.
I wonder,
but again,
as
but
a
even
libertarian,
in Japan,
I wonder what his view is on contraception, on abortion.
No. He might be. He seems like one of the old school libertarians. But again, it's like even in Japan, when you look at the declining birth rates, it's like, why is that happening? I wonder if the fucking insane work week has something to do with the fact that like people just don't want to fuck anymore because they're too busy working non-fucking stop. It's not like American corporations are famously, famously childbirth friendly. You know what I mean? Like, they are friendly as long as you give birth to your child during your lunch break and then come the fuck right back to work immediately after
and report it immediately.
Only country on the planet,
and only with people that you're not with coworkers unless you report it.
Well. The only country, America's the only country where there's no federal mandate for parental leave. Like that's insane. I wonder if that has something to do with like how hard it is to have a child. 0 paternity maternity leave, and then making it as difficult as possible and as expensive as possible to have a child. And then you do the surprise Pikachu phase when it's like, why aren't people having children anymore?
Yeah, and then they go to schools that look like goddamn prisons.
Yeah.
Like, and you're terrified of what happens to them.
Great. Oh my God.
That was the hardest hour of my life to not jump in and say things. So what we're going to do now is if anybody
he
has
really did a good job not jumping in.
Any questions, if you can come up here.
I just like to jump in real fast.
And, well, it's like, there you go.
What are the, like, cultural norms or things that
I don't care about the Q&A stuff as much.
It's always cringe. Every Q&A is cringe.
Okay, first and foremost, Bolsonaro's he's fighting Ruffles. Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffles. That's very Trumpian.
He says, "Dear Mark Ruffles, calm down." He said, "Down. I'm sure you have never read the Brazilian Constitution, but I can assure you it's nothing like the complicated Hulk scripts you have to memorize. Wait, what the fuck? I prefer... What? Is he trying to say a slur? What is that? Read it and you'll find out. I'm not only respecting it, but protecting Brazil's rule of law. Is that like a...
He didn't fall off. What are you talking about? Like, chat? Like, he's got, like, fucking 110,000 likes. And, like,
It's a groan and Hulk voice? Oh. Dude, I'm not doing a Cholo voice, okay? I'm doing a very specific Brazilian accent, okay?
You're always the worst with accents. That's why I didn't say that.
That's not true. I'm the best at accents. And British people agree with me, okay? That's all I need to know.
They agree with you, so they don't argue with you.
That's not... I would never argue.
Your Irish accent's okay.
He's roasting him for only having the grunt as the Hulk. God, this is so fucking stupid. Okay. Fuck Bolsonaro. I'm not even gonna look at that. We talked about the consumer price index. Have you seen Ben Shapiro fucking lose his mind? Like,
I got texted about it. I have not seen it.
He's been fucking crying on the timeline about Fox News showing this
this trans
trans
teenager.
Kid. Yeah. Okay, and then so is Matt Walsh. What is a woman? Anybody that refuses to fuck Matt Walsh, obviously. That's an easy answer. Show her the video. Should we look through the video again? I mean, we watched it already.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, here, watch it again. This is actually pretty good. Like, surprising. It is kind of wild to see. It is kind of wild to see this on Fox News. Like, I was shocked. It's really, really good video.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go pee while you watch.
All right.
You wouldn't think anything different.
14-year-old Rylan Whittington is a typical Southern California teenager.
Typical.
And the Whittingtons, along with
one big secret.
Looking very 90s.
He's trans.
Even that haircut.
No,
like
it's actually
90s.
really good. It's like straight up really, really good. Not as good as the top of the hour ad break, coming exactly at the top of the hour.
As soon as you leave it to me.
Yeah, but it is still pretty good. It's not as delicious and as exciting as like delivering you that sweet top of the hour ad break, which you can avoid if you subscribe for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime. That's right. Here's the woman ad break now.
Mom Hillary, Dad Jeff, and Sister Brinley are a typical family. The only difference, though, in Rylan's eyes, is what this family can mean to the tens of thousands of kids under 18 who identify as transgender.
We put our story out there so people could see that like there's another family out there that is going through what we're going through, or there's another family who's proud of who they are.
Before Rylan could even speak, he managed to tell his parents that he is a boy.
10 awesome.
I could just see it. It wasn't him trying to be a brat. It was like painful. It was truly painful for him to have to wear feminine clothing and for us constantly telling him that you're a girl.
And unlike some trans kids, when Rylan came out at age 5, a few years later, he had the full support of his parents.
Initially, there was some pushback from us in trying to understand this.
We were confused like most people are. We thought that gender and sexuality were the same thing. It took us a while to figure out that those two things are different and that children actually do recognize their gender identity very young. Some of them, not all.
But they listened to Rylan and to Hillary's conservative faith.
For me, it's just a deep spiritual belief that if you believe in God and He, created us the way He wanted us, well then yes, He created Rylan just the way he is.
And they listened to families. They met in support groups.
There was a father who was sitting across the table. He says, "You have no idea how lucky you are to be here," which kind of took me back. I didn't at that point consider myself lucky to be there.
And
he said, no, our child had displayed this gender dysphoria or this gender misalignment at the same age that Rylan has. And we didn't listen, and we pushed back.
That pushback led that child to turn to self-harm as a teenager, which 60% of trans and non-binary kids kids engage in, according to the Trevor Project. More than 50% consider suicide.
That for me was the turning point. I didn't want to see Ryland go through that.
I'd rather have a living son than a dead daughter. I guarantee that if we had pushed back,
it's very. I was just saying it was just
done what a lot of parents do.
Like
I don't think that we would have.
I think but it's like cut so perfectly to basically get like a conservative family to maybe reconsider their position, especially if they have like a trans child. You know what I mean? So I liked it a lot. I mean,
it was done in the morning, so it's a different crew, it's a different editorial staff, and whatnot.
Yeah, no,
it's
Fox News gets like
Fox News News.
Yeah,
like there's a Fox News News and there's the Fox News Politics, and those are like two different.
It gets progressively more reactionary the closer you get to Tucker Carlson. Yeah. Which is you're right. I mean, that's what Shepard Smith was like, the morning guy. Even then, like, you know, so.
Because like it's like the mothers that are at home and they're like putting their kids to fucking school and they're like not at work yet or whatever, like they're like going for like a specific audience during those hours.
Of either one of the kids that you see before you here today,
allowing him to live authentically and true to himself and be who he really feels like he is. When you get to know Ryland, you see just how proud and confident he is of himself.
Ryland's story got international attention in 2014 when a
he just lost his fucking mind. Like he just he straight up was like,
did he have a lot to say very fast?
Yeah, no, he was.
You have to slow him down at like 0.75.
This is it. This is the thread. Incredible that have been absolutely seething at the prospect of a trans teen living a normal life featured on Fox News. The coverage is sweet, but his tears are even sweeter. This would be absolutely despicable, insane lunacy if I saw it on CNN or MSNBC. To see it on Fox News is a complete betrayal of anything remotely resembling conservatism or decency. So you'd think he'd stop there. You know what I mean? Like one take on it.
Yeah.
No, he had.
Oh. Yeah.
He lost.
This is touching a nerve for him.
Yeah, he was like, trans people existing comfortably in society? Fuck no, not on my watch. I'll lose my fucking mind. Every element of this video is propagandistic, dangerous garbage. The report states that his biologically female child was choosing her gender before she could speak. This is madness. The report further states that Ryland's parents began social transition at the age of 5. This is child abuse. The vast majority of children who display signs of gender dysphoria desist over time. Like, he's literally seeing a parent be like, I didn't want to lose my child. Like, I didn't want my child to kill themselves. And that's why we took this measure, and it was actually really good.
These tweets aren't doing that good.
No, I think, I don't know what happened on this one. People really probably watched this and went, wait a minute, this seems like too normal of a family. What the fuck?
Yeah.
They look.
Ben fell off.
Well, they look normal and happy. This is why it's like really palatable and really successful agitated propaganda, which is why I think like for especially tailor-made for like the Republican audience, like they look like golden retrievers, this entire fucking family, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're conservative and they maintain their conservative side.
It's uncomfortably conservative.
Like they're probably fucking hella racist, but like I don't give a shit at this point, you know what I mean? Like currently this is like great for the Fox News watchers, right? That's why he's seething. The report further states, the report is absolute horrifying propaganda. We got mom citing her Christian faith to justify the perversion of biological identity. We got the radical gender theory activist Trevor Project, you know, the radical gender theory activist.
Like, don't kill yourself. That's radical.
Yeah. No, but that's like, for Ben, that is radical. Like, Ben's like, I want to kill as many trans people as possible, and Trevor Project is stopping me from doing so. Stats claiming that childhood transition is the only way to prevent suicide. I'd rather have a living son than a dead daughter is, again, propagandist sloganeering. There is no credible evidence that transition alleviates suicidal ideation among children who identify as LGBTQ.
Sauce? Site?
Where is it?
Heritage Foundation?
This seems, but like, not even. Like, is there any evidence to the opposite? I feel like this is one of the more, like, well-documented.
Yeah.
It's not even just transition. It's literally even less than that. It is just one fucking singular parent being accepting of the identity. It like reduces the suicide rate by a gigantic fucking margin.
Why is our side being accepting? Urgh!
Like it's literally less than that. Like the bar he set is fucking relatively high in comparison to what the reality is. The reality is like way easier to clear. The empirical evidence is there. We've got dad talking about living authentically by hormonally transitioning a biologically female child transition that, if continued, will result in biological sterilization and or breast and genital mutilating surgery. This is my favorite part about transphobes that do this thing that like every conservative does, where they describe like medical procedures in like an incredibly gruesome way.
Yeah.
And it's
they
like
fetishize it.
It's like, dude, you can describe heart surgery that way too, you fucking idiot. Like, you know what I mean? Oh my God, I can't believe medicine
more gnarly and meat cleavery than like a heart transplant.
These parents want creepy doctors to come in with a fucking saw and open up your chest and break your rib cage so they can, like, you know, take apart your entire chest and turn it into a cavity so they can put their hands on your heart. It's like
a Fringe episode.
You can describe it that way, but it's like, you know, it's a fucking medical procedure, idiot. Like, you know what I mean? It's life-saving.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. Laparoscopy is wild too. They inflate your chest and stick a robot arm in there. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just so dumb. You can do that for every medical procedure. That doesn't make it fringe or crazy. This family became famous in 2014 when Rylan, now 14, was 6 years old. Mom wrote a book about her own heroism. This isn't about the children. This is about pushing a gender theory that victimizes small children. You know, and this is happening on Fox News, where families praise for the extraordinary courage and in the face of politicization of transgender issues. People are afraid of what they do not understand, the reporter says. But we do understand the agenda. We understand that this propaganda on behalf of destruction of children, and it is vile. Right.
I have this friend of mine who got facial feminization surgery, and the way she describes like you take bone out of like the skull, and it's like just sounds like super like heavy metal, like.
Yeah, I mean,
like
it's gnarly.
badass.
It's gnarly. It's surgery.
It's
of
so
course
cool.
it's fucking gnarly. But that's every medical procedure. That's my point. Like, you can...
What is this gif?
Ben making fun of Ben. Yeah, the reason why he got this triggered is because the story does something.
It's done by our side.
No, he's mad because it's convincing.
Yeah, it is
because the story doesn't show, like, you know.
These are the kinds of things that were like being shown on like NBC in 2014, because like people forget like how bad the media was on trans issues like pre 2014, 2013 era.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
it's
this is right where NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN kind of were exploring and touching on it on stuff like in 2014.
Yeah. Do you think it was an easier time to be trans, like maybe 10 years ago than it is now?
No. Honestly, the reason why I say that is because, like, for a long time I didn't even know that like hormones were an option. Like as being like 18, 19 years old, it's not that I didn't have access, it's that I didn't even know it was like an option. Like I had literally like that awareness wasn't available to me, that like these things were possible. They seemed like I was under the impression like, oh, this is something that must be expensive and won't be covered by anything, and you know, and there's like no information about it. I don't know who to go to. I don't know where to go. All this information is pretty widespread now. Like I think that's one of the reasons why reactionaries are so focused on trying to suppress this information, is because like, I had no idea.
Because they're transing our children.
Yeah, it's like an option now. It's like people now teenagers know that they can go to their parents and they can be like, you know what, I think I'm trans, and say like, well, you know, and then they can go to a doctor, and like the doctor will tell them, and they'll have this fact sheet, they'll have the standards of care, and they'll be able to like go and like get help. Because it just didn't. I mean, it didn't exist, and it didn't exist 12 years ago. It just didn't exist.
Yeah. There's readily available information out there. I just meant like the attitude. It almost feels like trans people were like relatively. I feel like it was like more invisible almost.
Yeah, visibility was
where like
it's funny because like we went from like invisible to you know, trying to obtain visibility, and now we just like, just leave us alone, shut the fuck up, like leave us alone for one day.
Yeah.
Like don't like I just don't. I want a day where I'm not having to talk about trans stuff. Like that's just it. Like I just wanna chill on my best friend's couch and watch fucking like anime like reruns. That's all I want to do right now.
Yeah. Society can't hate gays, so they hate trans. Same reason my dad doesn't yell about Mexicans anymore. I think you can still hate Mexicans. No, I thought Donald Trump kind of brought it back.
It was like 6 years ago, dude.
Yeah, that's true. It's been a while. My hairline looked better then. I agree with you on many issues, but as you have said many times, you are a himbo. It seems like you are slowly losing the will to have any perspicacity or focus and fashioned yourself as a reactionist.
I'm pretty well educated. I don't know if that's a word.
I've never heard this word before.
I don't think that's a word.
This guy got so mad at me. He said I'm a sick hypocrite fuck yesterday because I said I like shooting guns, and then showed a video of myself shooting a Draco, and he like lost his mind in the chat.
Nice.
Is this you at the gun range, you fucking hypocrite? You are a sick hypocrite fuck. Please never come close to my country, he said.
What country is that?
I think Australia. This guy, yeah, he's crazy. Anyway,
you want to restrict guns, yet you've used a gun.
Yeah, like
hypocrite.
He doesn't understand that like you can shoot guns and still believe in, gun control.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, all right. Let's talk about Ukraine. Last time you and I were on this broadcast.
Yeah, it went trench warfare on us.
We both had some takes, and I guess like we were both right on some of the stuff, and we were both wrong on some of the stuff. The war is still ongoing.
Yeah,
I feel like
I was 70% on point.
It is hyper focused on the eastern flank now.
It's turned into trench warfare. It's like World War I out there.
And apparently, Ukraine, according to their own estimations, is
taking a lot of losses.
Yeah, they're losing like 200
this is
people a day.
This is what I was saying. Was like them moving in with armor and doing the Blitzkrieg style thing, like really fucked them up. But like whenever Russia starts switching to infantry and they're just using infantry and they're not like trying to ride to battle when they're actually in trench warfare, like they have and they really do have home court advantage in Donbass. So like now that the front has shrunk and they have less logistical need to supply the front line, and they can just grind at it, which I thought was the original plan. Like I thought that was how they were going to do it.
Yeah.
This whole trying to take the whole thing and go all the way around didn't make a lot of sense to me. They can chip away at parts of Ukraine for a period of time if they do this. But like we're not talking about we're talking about the western or the eastern provinces. Sorry.
Yeah, and it seems like even though many people called me and even Noam Chomsky a tanky or a Putin apologist, seems like Vladimir Zelensky is also or rooting for Putin. It seems like Vladimir Zelensky is also coming to that conclusion, saying only diplomacy can end the Ukraine war. It just depends on what the conditions are.
Yeah, but the scale of the consequences of the war in Ukraine have changed significantly since then. Like Ukraine is not about to lose its entire national sovereignty. It's still just losing it's losing more of its losing more of its territorial sovereignty, like towards the south, towards the like where Mariupol is. And the Donbass region, but like the core central bit, like it's not like Ukraine is about to. I don't think Russia has what it takes to be able to take the entire thing.
No, but I don't think Russia's taking.
Settle and take Crimea and take.
That was surprising. Look, that was surprising for every single person, including myself, that they chose to do that, which I always thought that would be impossible to do, considering the size of Ukraine, a country with 40 million people.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was not going to happen, and I don't know if that was like icing on the cake or to ensure that like they could take out the entire air defenses, which they failed to do so regardless.
Yeah.
But now they're now it seems like the tide is turning, but more so.
It's not that it's turning so much as it is that it has turned into the meat grinder that we were expecting it to be. Like if it was like this is the kind of invasion that people were anticipating this to be, and not the entire like throw every single Russian tank and then have it be obliterated.
Yeah. So, what's your takeaway on everything that's going on currently, especially considering that we started the Lend-Lease program, which is nearly identical, if I'm not mistaken.
The risk of nukes has dropped. So it's dropped significantly. Increased amount of the likelihood of diplomacy. Casualty numbers are going to continue to rise on both sides, much higher for Ukrainians, because now it is trench warfare. It is like digging into ditches and going from like a ditch to a ditch and trying to avoid getting machine gunned and shelled. Like, it is a much different fight than it was in March. Like, it is a much more, it's less World War II and much more World War I.
Still very incredibly deadly.
That's what happened with the Iran-Iraq war, right? It turned into trench warfare, and just both sides were just throwing bodies at this into a meat grinder at that point.
Why did nukes chances decrease? Because it seems like Ukraine's prospects do not look as good as it once did.
Yeah.
When the Russian forces were spread out all across the gigantic country.
Yeah, I mean, Russia has a much stronger negotiating position in terms of finding a diplomatic solution that supports their strategic aims, which is essentially to reduce the amount of territory that borders directly with Russia, between NATO. And obviously, it, as long as they can hold on to territory in Ukraine, there is no Ukraine joining NATO, which, as long as they have chunks
that was
away.
Never that was, I mean, that was not going to happen regardless. But the thing I wanted to ask you is, America started a $40 billion Lend-Lease program, which I think is like almost identical to the cost of to the military industrial complex, at least the cost of our war in Afghanistan. So it's like it's basically huge. Shifting over the budget from one never-ending war to another that we've outsourced to the Ukrainian people, so it's even better. So there's no
great for
American
defense contractors.
Yeah,
except there's no American bodies coming home.
Yeah, well, there are probably not to the same degree, of course, nowhere near the same degree as like Afghanistan or anything like that. But we were going to privatize, if it was up to Eric Prince, we were going to privatize Afghanistan anyway. Yeah. So instead of that, we just decided, this is a different foreign nation with its own nationals and genuine interest in emancipation that's justified. And also on top of that, like a genuine hatred for Russians that's maybe not as justified, but, it's very real.
Yeah.
So we'll just use them to fight against our foreign adversary, and we'll just keep fucking, billing the same companies the same exact price that they normally would for Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's where we've arrived at.
War support is always at 100% a Hearts of Iron 4 joke. Yep.
So what are the ways that you see out of this?
I don't. I think this is going to continue to go on for a while. I think that the biggest risk that both Russia and Ukraine have is running out of food. I think that they both are running low on supplies of staple crops because Ukraine has not been able to, which has been a main provider of food to Russia and Ukraine and to the Middle East. Essentially, like, has caused food prices to go up, and there's actually material shortages of wheat and a few other staple crops that are typically grown in the breadbasket of the region, which is Ukraine. You can't, an army marches on its stomach is sort of the saying, and that holds true. Your morale is going to drop as soon as you start running out of food. And I think that means that there's going to be no advances on either line for a while. I think the Russians are going to keep chipping away in some parts, but these are parts where they have home court advantage because they're Russian-speaking areas. These places have been under siege for a very long time. But Kyiv is basically back to normal. Like, there are actually conferences. There are already conferences that are starting in like Kyiv and West Ukraine right now. People are traveling again to the region. I would say that this is it seems like
what happened in Luhansk and Donetsk has just expanded.
Yeah, it's expanded,
which was what was going on for the past since the original conflict starting. Like, that was what it was. Ukraine had normal existence, And then if you went to like LPR, DPR, like you had active conflict, shelling to the tune of 13,000 or 14,000 total casualties even before the Russian invasion. So that was just like an ongoing, never-ending back and forth.
Yeah, and all those anti-tank. If Russia stops using tanks, which is what they're essentially doing, and switching to ground troops and foot soldiers, then those NLAWs, the advantage of the NLAWs and the javelins and the anti-tank guided missile systems is significantly dropped. So now it's much more like dropping anti-personnel, artillery rounds and shells and shelling, and then obviously firing machine gun rounds over trenches, which is. Is there a way? Brutal, it's an ugly kind of.
So what's up?
I do think.
Do you think they're going to give up? Like, do you think they're going to give up LPR, DPR entirely?
I think that I think that the Ukrainians will consider it. A diplomatic option that kind of eats at their border. But I think that much more likely this continues to go on because of the amount of support they're getting from Western countries, and that increases running the risks of seeing unconventional weapons being used in the trenches.
Okay.
It'll just get uglier and uglier as new and more innovative types of weapons start to be crafted, just as a continuation of the First World War.
Okay. I mean, that sounds awful.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It sounds like the worst of all scenarios.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's a responsibility by Western nations in their effort to continue this ongoing war rather than, dude, I'm interrupting because I'm the fucking host. Okay, suck my dick.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What is this? Shut
the fuck up. I'm not saying anything. I don't have an issue.
Shut the fuck up,
I
chat.
interrupt you all the time anyway.
Like, Jesus Christ, why are they being so fucking...
I egg you on in chat all the time.
Oh my God. Do you think the West has culpability in continuing this... this war?
I think Ukraine has this. I think that they have what they need in order to find their sort of to find their solution at this point. I think that Western support it actually decreases the chances of it getting resolved anytime soon, because they can just keep throwing equipment and resources there. And
you think that's conditional though? Like, obviously this is pure speculation at this point, and my speculation
I don't know enough.
My speculation is, at least like with the way the timing aligned with like the original, I think it was like Antalya talks that were happening in Turkey between the Ukrainian officials and the Russian officials. I think that Boris Johnson's visit and like the subsequent change of attitude, I think like the timing on that is a little too close.
Yeah.
For me to assume that like there was no Western interference on like a negotiation, where Zelensky agreed to 15 points that I think were totally fucking reasonable and actually very smart, including pushing the Crimea question further down the line by being like, we can discuss demilitarization potentially, but like there has to be put up to a vote or blah, 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 like all this shit, even that stuff.
Yeah.
But especially when it comes to Crimea, we will not have this conversation now. It will maintain its like, autonomous position as it is currently for the next 15 years, which I thought was a very smart way to deal with this delicate
politics sort of look.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was a smart way to deal with a delicate situation in a way where like he doesn't have to concede to the Russians in any meaningful capacity. He doesn't showcase himself as like making concessions to Russians because if he does, I feel like the far right is going to eat his ass.
It just ends the sort of bleed.
Yeah. I mean, this was.
This is whenever he like.
This was from Pravda. I don't know.
This is whenever he slid into the border.
Yeah, possibility of talks between Zelensky and Putin came to a halt after Johnson's visit. UP sources.
Oh, I think I know what that would have been then.
Following the arrival of the British Prime Minister Bojo in Kyiv, a possible meeting between Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin has become less likely. Quote from the article, the Russian side was actually ready for the Zelensky-Putin meeting, but two things happened after which a member of the Ukrainian delegation, Mikhailo Podolyak, had openly admit that it was not the time for the meeting of the presidents. First thing was the revelation of the atrocities, rapes, murders, and massacres, looting, and indiscriminate bombings.
Okay, so the British offered something in exchange.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I
didn't see the context of this, but I have a general idea of what this would be.
I think what's going on is
I think it's for additional weapons to be able to do a siege on Crimea itself.
U.S. plans to sell armed drones to Ukraine in coming days. Sources. I think that they basically were like, we'll just keep giving you weapons. You just can't concede to the Russians at all. Like you can't do any sort of like deal.
Because
it's going to be better than the Bayraktar.
I mean, no. Well, I don't know. Like, but I can't tell. Because like what's important in military standards is reliability and the inability of that system to be overtaken by your hostile actor. And we've already seen that American drones have very easily been able to be taken over.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought my brother always says that American drones are like the fucking Bugattis of drones. Like that's the one thing that
but like imagine Bugatti without a good security system, or that gets a flat tire that has like bad tires.
Yeah, that would be very American.
Requires a lot of like there's a reason why you don't drive a Bugatti in a war zone, right? There's a reason why the Toyota Hilux is the most popular truck in the world.
He also does say that the Bayraktar is like the Toyota, like very reliable, very affordable.
Exactly.
Take a beating.
And if you're like not the United States, then you don't have the continuous chain of supply. You don't have the supply chain and the continuous like support network that.
Well, they have a second Bayraktar that they were going to work on in collaboration with the Turkish government already, where they were like, so they have a working knowledge of the drone, which is like it doesn't seem super complex to make.
Yeah, I want a Hilux so badly too, but you can't get them in the States.
I think they're great.
I want one so bad, but I'm gonna have to like I'm gonna have to like work.
Get the Tesla Cybertruck.
No, I'm not getting a fucking Tesla. If I get an EV, it's gonna be like a BMW.
Taycan. Oh, the new Beamers they're dope.
Yeah, I drove one.
Yeah, they're pretty sick.
But I live in New York, so I kind of don't want an EV.
Yeah, you don't need that.
Yeah,
you don't need a car at all in New York.
Well, I mean, they're convenient to have like as a driver, but I mean, I like to drive. I love driving.
Well, yeah, I mean, then New York is a terrible place to.
It's terrible.
A terrible place to be. Okay, what else was I gonna ask? And also, one second. Because I have other guests coming in a little bit, and I just got to make sure when they're coming.
Okay.
I'm gonna kick
you out.
Yeah, I was gonna kick you out. Okay. What else was I gonna talk about? Oh, we can watch. We were gonna talk about this. Okay. You're familiar with what's going on in Los Angeles? Brandon's here.
Yeah.
Are you attending any of the the America's Conference things?
No, I'm not doing anything like that. I was here to just see Ethan Klein this morning, and I needed to get back to New York.
Yeah, well,
I've got work to do like starting tomorrow, so I got to fly in tomorrow morning.
Well, Cornel West has some words to say about Brandon.
I'm already losing my voice from being on air for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, you gotta get used to it. I got pipes. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
You've been some vanguard for human rights when you look at the history of Latin America as the playground of the American empire, treating Latin American brothers and sisters as if they're cockroaches to be crushed rather than human beings with great dignity who organize and fight back.
Yeah. Even though he's like, don't come to. I love him. And I think he's great, but he like attends some of the cringest fucking shit sometimes.
You know what? He sat behind me like 3 or 4 times during my court martial, like right behind me.
Really?
Yeah, it was so awesome. It was
no,
so
he's
cool.
dope. He's wonderful. I love him obviously, but I do hate when he's like he'll like attend like a random like debate conference or some shit, and there's like actual fucking Nazis.
That's where the money is.
Yeah, it's just like, what are you doing, bro?
Politicon.
I've done Politicon.
I know.
Politicon is a little bit more.
You know, the Politicon tried to get me to do one with Joy Reid. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That you should do it.
It didn't happen. I guess it's.
I think Politicon went. It fell apart.
They also wanted me to do. They wanted me to do Milo, which we said fuck no.
Oh, with Milo?
Yeah, we were just like no. This is like 2017. We're just like fuck no.
He can be lib. Okay, guy sitting at his computer. That's not what I was saying. I'm not saying he's not a liberal at all. What the fuck?
Los Angeles, acting as if you don't have crimes in the Middle East. with Saudi Arabia committing crimes right now against the Yemenis, with the Israelis committing crimes right now against the Palestinians, with crimes being committed in Asia. Don't come thinking that we're going to take your lives. And don't think that simply because we hate the injustice that we hating other folk. No. Frantz Fanon is right. And Brother David put it well in our presentation. We don't know of a national bourgeoisie that has not betrayed the working people, has not betrayed poor people. I don't care what color, what national identity, what gender, even sexuality. This is not a question of some neoliberal identity politics. We talking about justice. We talking about equality. We talk about democracy from the bottom up. Don't.
Great.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm in town. I flew in on Air Force One, of course, and came here.
Yeah, you flew on Air Force One. You flew on one of the Ospreys. Like you parked right outside on my helipad.
Yeah.
Luckily, luckily I have one.
That's why I didn't have to go through the moat.
Yeah. And you know.
But yeah,
you're doing regime change in Latin America.
Always.
Very exciting business. I mean, are you familiar with what's going on with the American conference at all, or have you paid attention to that at all?
A little bit. You know, I know that's going on.
They did not invite Cuba or Venezuela or Nicaragua,
nope.
Which is fucking ridiculous. You know.
Yeah, except for these parts, like asterisks. But yeah, like when it comes to like LA,
claimed that it was because it was undemocratic. These countries were undemocratic, unlike, you know,
the United States.
Unlike the United States or Brazil. You know, that's very famously we were making like
Biden's so-called Summit of the Americas is completely falling apart. This summit is a gathering of countries in the Americas where regional issues are discussed. The purpose of these meetings is allegedly to build more unity and cooperation, but this year's host, the United States, has made it clear that cooperation is completely off the table. Before the meeting even began, the US announced that Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua would be barred from participating in the summit, essentially turning the summit into a political weapon to isolate countries the US doesn't like. This decision has backfired, however, as Mexico, Bolivia, Guatemala, Honduras, and all 14 countries of the Caribbean have now said they're boycotting the summit.
Oh, yeah,
many of these countries specifically citing the exclusion of Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. The Biden administration immediately went into damage control mode, announcing that it was lifting monetary and travel restrictions on Cuba, oil sanctions on Venezuela, and then sent a team of diplomats to Mexico to try to convince the Mexican president to soften his position on boycotting the summit. Ironically, the US had been promoting the summit as a way of increasing diverse forms of participation and strengthening democracy. While the hypocrisy here is mind-boggling, this isn't exactly out of character for the US either.
BT is literally straight up doing fucking breakdown videos that I used to do with the Young Turks like fucking 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Wearing that exact same fit, with the exact same copyright-free trap music background. Anyway, that's just besides the point.
It's more or less been U.S. policy to overthrow democratically elected governments in Latin America since the late 19th century. Here's a list of all the U.S.-backed coups and military interventions in Latin America.
Let's go!
We gotta get those numbers up. Shit's been looking...
Stonks! Some of these I haven't even known about.
In other words, the legacy of the United States in Latin America isn't a legacy of democracy. It's a legacy of tyranny. It's a legacy of bloodshed. It's a legacy of democratic governments being overthrown, dictators being installed, and millions of people being massacred just so a few CEOs could grind out a little extra profit. On top of that, what's the state of the US's own democracy? While we have a democracy in name, regardless of who's in power, the rich and powerful always seem to come out on top. As most Americans get pushed closer and closer to total financial ruin, the politicians shovel more and more money into the military-industrial complex, all while telling us there's not enough money for universal healthcare or education. Well, it lectures the rest of the world on free.
It switched from like billionaires like trying to buy politicians to that like now they're actually trying to be politicians themselves. Like in the last like 10, 15 years.
Billionaires trying to become politicians. Yeah. Well, Bill Gates went from. I mean, I guess Bill Gates didn't he famously say that like why would I become a politician when I can like easily do more?
Yeah.
Bro,
like Bloomberg tried to jump in. Andrew Yang. Like we just have all these like extremely wealthy people like jumping into politics in the last decade. Like Donald Trump, obviously not being an actual billionaire, but claiming to be one.
Caruso.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
Like it's just like it's a further degradation of the line between the capital and the liberal democratic.
They decided to cut out the middleman. I think.
Yeah.
That's
Free
what happened.
speech. The United States unleashes riot cops on its own people for protesting for basic human rights. This is why a group of activists is organizing a counter summit called the People Summit, a summit dedicated to assessing the state of the Americas from the perspective of ordinary working people. The People Summit is going to take place on June 8th, 9th, and 10th in Los Angeles, and they've got a pretty impressive lineup of speakers and musicians, all kinds of organizations ranging from labor unions to tenant associations to anti-war groups are going, and admission is free. So if you and your friends are trying to meet new activists and collaborate with different social movements, this is your chance. These two summits present a pretty clear choice for everyone in this hemisphere. Either we continue to live under an empire that considers all of Latin America its backyard, or we tell that empire it has no right to dictate the way we live, and the best thing it can do for Latin America is to go back home.
Good take, good video. Jesus
we are
Christ. That's fucking insane. Oh, here we were gonna do okay. One last thing. Two last things, okay, before I let you leave the compound. Two things. One,
Jordan Peterson, JP, new JP just dropped.
When I think about like, you know, dating advice, I like to look at Jordan Peterson. Like I feel like he has great dating advice. So let's hear what he has to say talking to his daughter Michaela.
That's so
I think this is pretty common for women in university to hook up with people. Right, it's called hookup culture. There's Tinder, like for any.
The thing about the thing about Michaela, yeah, that it's weird as fuck. Yeah, like I can't imagine having this conversation with my parents like that. I would never want to do that. But also,
I can't masturbate at Sports Illustrated anymore.
Yeah, that's incredibly weird and cringe that he like talks about what he can't lathe ropes to with his daughter, but also like. She's like a bit of a freak. Like she dated fucking some random like Serbian Marxist guy. She like dated and I think did she have a kid with like Cobra Tate, who was like a sex trafficker? You know what I mean? Like,
you know what? I honestly don't care.
Yeah,
I kind of don't care. Like,
okay, fair. That's fair. But I'm just saying,
I don't follow the family of Jordan Peterson. I just know that she put out the tweets whenever he was ill.
Yeah.
Anybody out there who's thinking maybe I don't want to do that, it's not fun. It doesn't make you feel good. It's really makes you really lonely. It's not a good idea.
Why do you think it makes you lonely?
I think because what you're looking for is connection with somebody. And you're getting this physical connection and you're not getting any emotional connection.
Well, here's an interesting thing I used to tell my clients is don't do anything with anyone sexually that you wouldn't talk to them about.
Seems
like, well, I wouldn't talk to anybody about that, but you'll act it out,
yeah.
So that's worth.
This is so creepy.
Tell my clients is, don't do anything with anyone sexually that you wouldn't talk to them about.
What does that even mean? Is he saying don't rape like your partner? What the fuck?
What?
Isn't that like the auto? Am I misunderstanding what he's saying? Is he just like basically describing like, you know, super basic consent? Like that's, I thought that was like implied. What kind of fucking clients do you have that like you have to be like, you know, consent is important? Like what?
Oh God, I don't even want to know what his clients are like.
That's like the fucking first step. Like very strange.
Seems like, well, I wouldn't talk to anybody about that, but you'll act it out,
Yeah.
So that's worth thinking about. You're not intimate enough with them to have a conscious discussion, but you're perfectly willing to blunder stupidly into it and then risk the aftermath.
Oh, he's like talking about kinks? Like he's saying, oh, he's doing kink at Pride discourse.
Oh no!
No, I mean not at Pride, but he's just doing kink discourse maybe. He's saying like, you know, if you like butt stuff, and you want to do that, that's fine. I'm not going to kink shame, but you need to make sure that, you know, your partner is willing and able and up to it. Obviously, it takes a lot of time for bottoms to get ready. Many people don't know this. He said unionize. He said bottoms need to unionize.
All right, you're recycling jokes now.
Okay, I am. Okay, well, whatever. Okay, not everybody here heard it for the first time. There you go. That was a weird take. I thought there was going to be more to that. Chatters that sent me like over and over again. Were like making it seem. Yes, Jubilee.
No,
so
these are so cringe.
No, it's
I said in Finland.
6 Mormons versus one fake one.
When you watch this shit, I'm like,
really? I love Jubilee.
I'm like, nope.
Like because you like, you know why? Actually, Chelsea hates it because she's like, oh no, it's not the Platinum Jubilee. Every time I click on it, time I click on it, she probably thinks like, oh no, I think it's going to be the Platinum Jubilee.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, that's why she's a big fan of the Queen.
No,
loves the Queen.
I'm a big fan of the royals. Yeah.
Yeah, just the monarchy in general.
Yeah, I bet they taste good. I'm kidding.
That sounded weirdly sexual. I know what you meant, but like it just sound the way you said it. It almost.
Have said that. I'm gonna get canceled.
Yeah. Sounds like you want to fuck the Queen.
Oh God.
Oh, CIA pride. CIA fosters an open and inclusive work environment to ensure all officers can serve the nation confident that they will be judged by their integrity of their work ethic and not by their sexuality, gender identity, or gender expression. Whoa! We join our LGBTQ allies, or LGBTQ officers, I don't know, I read it like that, in the greater community in celebrating Pride Month and are committed to maintaining a safe environment for all. CIA is a proud LGBTQ plus ally. I love that. That's great. Wonderful.
Gotta love it.
Trans folks hate Jubilee because Jubilee hates us. Wait, really? Does Jubilee hate? Don't they have like some trans videos?
Absolutely.
They aren't great though. They're never good. It's always like trans people versus people who want to murder them.
Yeah.
Let's find the middle ground.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, all right, come on.
Turn that shit off.
Yeah, it's like, all right. 3 of you trans people are gonna die by the end of this, but like the other 3 will survive because middle ground.
Also, like the right side is always like it's always like right wing grifters, like who already have an established like far right like grift going on. Like they're like,
they come in with like talking points. Like they're like a Heritage Foundation mouthpiece.
They're like this normal person that we grabbed off the street, and it's like they have like a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's mainstream media too, though. Like they always do that where they're like
Pinochet's son.
Yeah, or like this concerned parent. There's always a concerned parent, and then you like Google their name, and it's like literally chairman of the Heritage Foundation, North Virginia chapter or whatever the fuck. It's like, okay, like analyst for Raytheon.
Yeah.
Just a concerned parent about a foreign policy. Just that's what it is. All right, well, let's see.
These are Olsen, ja
this one's just about Mormons, so it's not as bad.
Yeah, mine was, hello, I'm a missionary.
I love that.
We brought together 7 Mormons or Latter-day Saints.
I'm a member. I am a member.
I'm a member. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ.
The Latter-day Saints.
One of them is a liar. If the group discovers who the liar
one of them's
is,
gonna be
they'll split a cash prize.
That's how they do this, always.
If the liar survives, they win the entire prize.
Sorry, I'm lowering
it. Is the odd one out.
Way too dink.
I guess we can start with like how long everyone's been a member of the church. Does that work?
Yeah, sure. Totally.
Born and raised.
I'm Zalia, by the way, or you can call me Z. I actually converted to the church when I was 10 years old. I converted before my mom, actually. I got baptized before her, so I guess like 8 years now.
I'm Savannah. I was born and raised in the church, too.
Yeah. I'm Elizabeth, born and raised in the church.
Hayden, also born and raised.
Is somebody not born and raised in the church?
I was born and raised, but if you want to know how
no, so one of them, they're all lying. I mean, one of them's lying, sorry, but like we need to find out which one is, wow, you really haven't watched a single one of my Jubilee videos. God damn.
I turned that shit off.
Gotta eliminate non-whites first. You're wrong. As a matter of fact, the Mormon church had a fucking patch. You must have not read the patch notes because they decided black people were no longer evil, okay? So, get with the program, sweaty, okay? Yeah, the Mormon religion has gotten patched like many times.
Yeah.
And one of them was, yes, we've decided black people are no longer cursed with the mark of Cain. I think that's what they say. That means that they're like evil automatically. And when you become an evil person, you become black. which is really what they used to think. What else did they patch? They patched even fucking caffeine drinks and shit. So
yeah.
How long that is since I was baptized? 19 years.
And I'm Natalie, and I was also born and raised in the church.
Bad start already. Oh no. I think the main thing I was looking for was someone who just had knowledge about the church.
Well, I think something we could do quick is like just say a scripture we like and why we like it.
Okay.
So I could start. I mean, I like Moroni 7:37. That was my missionary plaque. I don't have it memorized, but it basically says that it's by faith that miracles are wrought. And if miracles have ceased, it's because of unbelief. So I like that.
Okay, this dude is way too into it.
Yeah.
Like, now this could go both ways. When someone is like that into religion, they're either like actually a missionary, or they're a fucking r/atheism guy.
Yeah, like Christopher Hitchens. Christopher Hitchens could like recite the Bible.
Yeah, it's like, bro, you're so into it. Like, you're too into it, brother.
Yeah.
Like, chill. Okay, calm down. It's not that serious.
Because it's helped reassure me that miracles do happen.
Original debate, bro.
What exact verse it is? That already makes me look really bad. I think it's like Nephi chapter 12 or somewhere around there, just because I had an amazing experience when I read it, but it was like the last verse of the chapter, and he basically is saying, oh, what does he say? It's just like, know that when you read these things, these are true.
There are quite a few books in the Book of Mormon, and she didn't mention one specifically. She mentioned like a grouping of books.
That's a lot of people in churches,
because
though.
mine is like a scripture mastery one, but I don't remember where it's from.
Yeah.
It's like, thou shalt not let your light shine under a bushel.
Oh, that's like Matthew.
It's Matthew.
Yeah.
Yes. And I learned that in high school, and I was living in Oregon, and so I was one of the only Mormons there. And it just made me have to be like, I don't know, I had to be an example to everyone else as a Mormon at the time,
So Natalie kept saying the word Mormon without even flinching. In our church, there's a big push that Mormon is not our official name.
It's not the PC term.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Is it Latter-day Saints?
because of the scripture mistake.
Oh, God. Yeah, they are clapping the people of color first. You were right. Oh, my God.
I just had a feeling I was gonna be eliminated because I definitely like had a brain freeze and I just froze.
So did anyone serve a mission?
I served in Italy.
I served in Finland.
Wow.
Okay. Very fun.
Can I hear something? Is it Finnish?
Terve, olen Sisar Olsen ja haluan opettaa täällä Mormonin kirjasta.
All right, I guess I'm up. Buongiorno, mi chiamo Anziano Lacey, sono missionario della Chiesa di Gesù Cristo dei Santi degli Ultimi Giorni.
Okay, they're both Mormons, for sure. Like, no one is that much of a sweat lord to be like, I learned fucking Finnish to fake being Mormon.
Yeah, mine was, hello, I'm a missionary.
Wait, is that language that fucking Buttigieg?
Yo, they didn't send Caleb. Isn't this I think this is a meme in the Mormon community, but like, they don't send the uglies out to... like to do like missionary work overseas or anything, right? Isn't that like...
I remember I found one of the missionaries cute, and it was like, gosh,
that's not true. I thought that's how it was, right? Isn't it? Isn't that the meme?
I let one in.
Anziano Lacey,
I was like, hi.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
Her long hair is an easy identifier as Mormonism. Opposite. Fuck, you've reinforced shit in me. What? Wait, hold on. What is it? What do they do? Caleb has a Mormon chin. Hasan, don't call him ugly. Okay, everybody calm the fuck down. Don't they make like actually, wait, it might be the opposite. They might send like people that they find to be like not attractive to... It's a meme with Twitch streamers, not missionaries. No. There's like I thought that they... Cutie Cinderella said that exactly, where they I thought that they like send less attractive missionaries to like either Latin American countries or they send them in domestically. What? They keep them internally.
I have no idea. I'm so confused by that.
Ugly Mormons get the Idaho mission.
Oh God.
Della Chiesa di Gesù Cristo dei Santi degli Ultimi Giorni.
Yeah, mine was, hello, I'm a missionary from the Church of Christ of Latter-day Saints.
How about
What was everyone's favorite conference talk from last week?
I did watch some of the
Oh my God! There's a conference talk that they fucking follow.
Prophets messages for seminary, but I didn't watch the whole thing.
It's like a work.
It was my birthday weekend.
That's so fair. Every 6 months in October and April, there is something called General Conference. The first presidency of our church and other leaders will have different talks given, and so it's important that people tune in to see what the Lord has to say.
LDS requires work.
Part of the LDS religion is that we do believe that there is a living prophet on the earth right now.
What?
It's like Elder Hollins talks about mental health awareness.
Oh my God, homie looks. That is. Oh Jesus Christ. I mean, it's hard not to look at that guy and be like, that. He looks villainous. He looks mischievous. That's God. Why are religious leaders always looking?
Looks like it ran through like Dolly 2, the AI, and just was like super villain.
Yeah.
Output.
Okay, I'm sorry. There's just like, even with all the fucking face tuning that went into this photo, there's still hella evil vibes permeating from every orifice.
Just needs one of those American flag pins.
And how we can.
You asked Cutie about the hot normies here?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it true that Mormons don't send the like attractive girls and boys on like Latin America and African missions, and they only send them internally in the U.S.?
No, that's made up.
Because one girl that did it, I guess in Chicago or something, was like, yeah, they don't send the attractive ones to Latin America.
That's made up.
And I think she was just trying to say she's attractive.
Yeah, she just felt. Yeah, she needed.
Like sneering at you too.
It had staying power in my mind. I was like, who told me this first? Now I'm remembering the experience. And yo, you just made that up?
I do remember.
No. I met a Mormon girl at like Kiss Bang
Keep
Bang.
the receipts coming, chat. Holy
I met the
shit.
Mormon. No. I met a Mormon girl at Kiss Bang Bang, but I guess like I didn't even believe her that much myself, and I just it just stayed in my mind.
An ego boost.
But here's the thing. Here's my question. Have you ever seen like an unattractive Mormon?
Hasan, she was trying to flirt. Yeah, I think so too. Anyway, let's keep
better
going.
ourselves and be aware of what other people are going through. Yeah, I love when he talks about that because I suffer from mental health issues. So.
Yeah, I love that. Like, there's been so many talks recently about mental health. Like, I feel like that's so important, and I'm glad that it's not like it's being destigmatized. I think.
So you guys all were raised, right, Mormon, and do you feel like are part of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? My seminary teacher is gonna scream at me when he hears me say that I said that.
It's a hard transition.
Yeah, sorry, it's a long-winded one. But do you guys feel like you were raised like pretty much with very, very set values, or do you feel like your values really like are in line with the values of the church?
So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have a tattoo and I have like extra piercings. When I was younger, I went through a more rebellious phase because some of my values weren't aligning with like the church, and I feel like I have a really strong testimony in the Savior, and I was like, as long as I still have that, I think I'll be okay. And like,
so you left and then, or not left, but you kind of strayed and then came back.
Yeah. I went inactive for a little bit. I did some soul searching, and
I get that. I'm kind of actually in more of a inactive phase right now in my in my path. So like, I'm kind of doing that soul searching right now.
Oh,
it's always important to ask questions for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so who is it?
She was inactive for a little bit previously. That was a little suspicious.
We actually have a three-way tie. Dude. The tie is between Natalie, Elizabeth.
Natalie caught, Z caught strays for no fucking reason again. Are you bored of this?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Each will
I
have
love this.
30 seconds.
I love this.
Just kind of state your case.
I don't really know what to say. I was born and raised in the church. My favorite movies, BRM. So that's like a real good part of Mormon culture, if you know that. I don't know what to say. I teach youth 15-year-old Sunday school. So I feel like I would have hidden.
You are such a fucking chatter. I swear to God. Even when you're here, you're like, oh, turn on MasterChef. I don't like it.
It's about, I mean, yeah, like I that's how I encountered you. Like, you like rated me once a long time ago in like 2019. Like the first time I ever streamed, I had no idea what was going on.
Oh God.
And then I came back to you like afterwards because like, who did that stream that one time? And then I started watching you, and then I started chatting, and I got sucked in.
Yeah, it's the worst. I should have never done that.
I'm one of you, y'all.
There you go. I broke your brain.
Yeah.
And I would have like taken out all my piercings. If I were trying to blend in, if I were the mole, I was baptized at 8. My brother's been sealed in the temple. I do baptisms for the dead a lot. I have a temple recommend currently right now.
The best way I could state my case is by reciting the young woman's theme. We are daughters of our Heavenly Father who love us and we love him. We will stand as witnesses of God at all times and in all things and in all places. And we strive to live the young woman's values, which are faith, divine nature, individual worth, knowledge, choice, accountability, good works, integrity, virtue. We believe as we come to accept and act upon these values, we will be prepared to strengthen home and family, make and keep sacred covenants, and receive the ordinances of the temple, and enjoy the blessings of exaltation.
Like the Army
the
Creed.
only reason why they're still going to fucking vote for her is because she's black. If they vote for her after all that, yeah.
Raise your hand if you think the mole is still in the box and you would like to continue the game.
I think it was.
I have so many things I want to talk about.
Yeah, I feel like there's only 2 people that have gone out so far.
I'm happy to keep talking.
I'm happy to keep talking too. Yeah, I got no problem with that. But
To help educate our audience, here's a question I've been wanting to ask that will continue the conversation we had. But I was just wondering if anyone could share a moment they had that really helped them come to know these things are true.
My grandpa passed away 4 years ago this month, and he was actually my last like living grandparent. There was a time where I was praying for strength, you know, after it happened, and I just got like the best feeling of like just warmth of like I'm going to see him again.
Personally, I think I already said this, but I was the first person to actually get baptized in my church, and I was only 10 years old. It was really, really signifying. It's not even like the feelings that you feel, it's like literally like the changes you see. My family was always loud, super rambunctious. There was never peace in the home. And then as soon as I started bringing back these lessons and teachings I learned, all of a sudden the family was super peaceful and it was super nice. Can I ask you guys more about, well, you said you're currently going through kind of an active period and you said you went through one already. Do you guys want to go a little more in depth about that, or just kind of like the questions you had?
So for
Get the blonde chick to talk. She's like getting away with it. And so is Caleb. Even though I do think Caleb is like straight up the most Mormon.
With, you know, because I consider myself to be left-leaning politically. And so a lot of that, you know, doesn't really align with some of the things the church teaches. And so for me, it was just kind of like finding a way that I can still hold my beliefs, because I do think it's important that we, you know, treat everyone with love, and being able to separate, like, I can vote how I want, and that doesn't indicate my faith in the gospel.
Mine's kind of personal right now. I'm just kind of trying to figure.
Say, you know, Z is Mormon because she fucking sucks. Chill, dude. She seems like a nice person, maybe a little misguided, but
you know, like what I think. My focus has just kind of changed.
I think if you go through a period of inactivity, you can really see the difference between like when you're living the gospel and when you're not. And I found my life to be better when I was living it. And so I think that was a very important experience to me to get my own testimony. Still a little bit suspicious of Clay, you know, his period of inactivity, which I know sounds kind of like hypocritical of me.
Bye, Clay.
I wasn't surprised. I had a feeling I was going to get eliminated the entire game.
Raise your hand if you think the mole is still in the box and you'd wish to continue playing the game. If the lights turn green, that means you have voted the mole out.
If it's fucking Clay, I'm gonna lose my mind.
That means
if it's Clay, he was an ex-Mormon turned debate lord, by the way. That one.
And you lose.
That one. Oh, thank you. Okay.
Everybody's suspicion's
Oh, that's
gone.
Caleb?
Will the mole reveal themselves in 3, 2, 1.
It was her!
I knew it too.
And I bet she was ex-Mormon too.
Voted for you every round. I had my suspicions from the start.
Oh my god, dude. Caleb is like the Omega Mormon. He is the most Mormon.
Oh my God. You kept saying Mormon over and over again without
I thought that too.
Yeah,
I really
without flinching.
And so I was one of the only Mormons there. A real good part of Mormon culture. I started to have doubts about the church before I went to college, and I eventually was
There you go. Exactly. Like ex-Mormon.
like, something's not adding up between what I'm saying and what I'm actually feeling. I'm very like left-leaning politically. And then once I was out of the church, I realized, oh, I'm gay. I couldn't even think about it when I was a member of the church because it was just
I
so...
didn't even think about that. Like her haircut, that's not very Mormon. Isn't it?
out of the possibility in my head. But now I'm like happy. I live in California. If you are LGBT and in the church, you are loved. There is a place for you, no matter if it's in the church or out of the church.
Not in LA.
You can do whatever you want to do and whatever you need to do that is best for you.
I'm really glad to have this opportunity
Brooklyn, baby.
and to talk about my experiences with the church, and
Deadass.
I really am glad that people can watch this and listen to our stories. I think that we all had some really, really good thoughts shared.
Members of our church really do try to live in the Savior's way, and I think as we do that, hopefully we can become more like him, and I think as we grow as people, hopefully we'll be able to show other people that we really do love them for who they are.
I think we have to. I think we have to.
All right.
Okay, well, I mean, I got nothing else. This is what I had in the tank, except for the top of the hour ad break.
Oh,
it comes at the top of every hour. I also have some guests coming in a little bit.
Cool.
In a few, but some surprise guests that are coming over right now. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Just I was on the podcast earlier. You wanted to
how
mention
was
that.
Yeah, how was that?
It went well. I thought it's I love Ethan, and I'm a big fan. It was I was actually kind of taken aback by how much ground we covered in terms of like my past and my history and stuff, because I don't know, I'm so used to talking about current events and more recent stuff. So it was like a different change of pace for me. So it was a pretty intimate conversation that we had. I was surprised that it didn't turn. I was kind of expecting something pop culture-y and memey, and something more like something more like the content that I usually associate with H3, and it was actually pretty in depth. And
no, he's got a serious streak going.
I just have I don't think I've seen some of his more serious content. But
it's called Leftovers. I don't know if you know that, but it's a podcast that he does.
I do know, because that's where I caught your recycled joke from earlier.
Okay, well, all right. But yeah, no, Ethan is a great interviewer, and he has a great team.
Get more material.
I'm trying. Look, I got to fill up 8 hours every day. You know what I mean? Like
you got chat to help you all day long.
All right. Well, I'm gonna fill up chat with the top of the hour ad break right now. And if they no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe.
Hit the restroom, and then I'm gonna order left.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
All right.
And as always, I love you all, chat. Unionize chat. I'm out.
Oh God, don't do that. Okay.